Hello and welcome to the 2020-2021 school year at Saguaro High School. My name is Nicole Smith and I am your study strategies teacher, or I am your students study strategies teacher, and I look forward to working with each and every one of you this year. We've had a chance, some of us, to build relationships last year, and I look forward to building upon that. I'm going to go through a quick presentation now just to share with you a little bit more about me and also what to expect this year in study strategies. So this year does look a little bit different than it did last year, and also even from the fourth quarter last year. So hopefully we'll be able to get into a good routine with everything, and please feel free to reach out to me at any time if you have questions. My email is the best way to get a hold of me, but you can also use that phone number there, and you should be able to leave me a voicemail that I will be notified about, and I can check and I can give you a call back as well. So hopefully there will be able to connect in that way. And so just a little bit about me. This is my second year at Saguaro, my 9th year teaching. I have experience team teaching a lot of different classes, so I'm fully capable and able to help your student as best as possible. And I also went to UC Riverside for my undergraduate degree, and that's just a little picture there of my sister and I this summer. She came out and went to the Grand Canyon. I got to take her and my dad for the first time. That was a lot of fun. I do love to travel. With COVID, we haven't really been able to get out a whole lot. And definitely want to keep safe and everything. But that was a really great experience over the summer to get to do that with her. So that's just a little bit about me. Hopefully that helps us to connect a little bit better and let you know a little bit about that. So the next few slides here, if you need to pause this video at any reason, if I'm going a little bit too fast, I didn't want to make it too long by any means, but I did want to share some of the basic expectations for this school year, because like I said, it is different than anything we've ever done before, and we're working on it together. So your expectations will be for your students to participate in live virtual classes 3 hours per day, and then also homework or independent learning not to exceed 3 hours per day. And now, one change that is different from last quarter is that for attendance purposes, students do have to be online with their cameras on, and they have to participate. If you don't have your camera on or you don't show up, then obviously you're counted as absent. Now, you'll be logging into a new little system after your single sign-on. For those of you who are students, you will start on the Buzz website. That's going to let you know where each of your classes are going to be, what modality they're going to be using for their classes. So for my class personally, when we meet live in that synchronous learning, when we meet live, we are going to be meeting in Google Classroom, and we are going to be using Zoom. We used this last year. It worked pretty well for most of us, and I think to kind of keep things a little bit more familiar at first, that's what we're going to be doing. So for Study Strategies class, your classwork and lessons will be found in the Google Classroom, and we will be meeting in Zoom, and we'll be using the same meeting link every day. So for my class periods 4 and 7, we'll be meeting on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. We'll be using that same Zoom link every time. And then finally, like, those things connect down at the bottom, because with Synergy and Student View and Parent View will still be where you'll go to check your grades, to make sure that you've submitted assignments and see what assignments you have missing and everything like that. So that part remains the same, but Buzz is kind of bringing everything central, so you guys can have one place where you can see where you need to go for each of your classes, and kind of use that as a jumping off or a starting point, okay? So we're going to be talking about this a lot in class. The first 2 weeks of school is our expectations. As Saguaro Sabercats, what kind of behavior? What kind of people do we want to portray ourselves as especially in this online environment? So we're going to be talking a lot about that. What does it look like to enter class? What should your behavior look like with teacher-led whole group instruction, one-on-one instruction, or even small group activities? We want our students to be showing that they're capable, appropriate, trustworthy, and supportive in any type of environment they're in. And so, like I said, we want to make sure that you're entering class, your devices are charged up, have your video on, you're ready to participate with audio as needed, and you're just showing respect for your fellow peers and respecting this new learning environment. So those are kind of the basic expectations there as far as that goes. And again, feel free to pause this video if you want to take a closer look. I know I'm reviewing kind of fast, but I also don't want to take up too terribly much of your time here. So now for study strategies, it's split up into two parts, okay? So the first part of the class is spent working on a mini lesson. We're still gonna be doing those this year. So it could be just touching on a variety of students' IEP goals. So we could be doing lessons on reading, writing, social emotional activities. We're really gonna be hitting that harder this year and kind of, talking about where we're at and making sure that everybody has the support that they need. And then we'll be also covering post-secondary or transition activities. What do you want to do when you get out of high school? So just kind of reviewing that now. I've kind of mentioned this slide already. So we'll move on here. Study strategies part 2 is the part of the class time where you are able to work on assignments from other classes, get extra help from me for those assignments and concepts. And you want to make sure you're, again, utilizing Buzz to determine where your work is located, and then also using your student view to verify that you've submitted assignments and checking your grades on your work that you've done. So that's just kind of the basics there. So grading for study strategies class, 80% of your grade is going to be on assessment. What I'm assessing basically is to see if you've completed your online weekly plan. You're going to have a list basically of all your classes for the week, and you're going to be putting in there, what did you do for English this week? What assignments did you have? Did you complete those assignments? This is not so much for me to be monitoring over your student as much as it is for your student to develop that responsibility and making sure that they are completing their work and just kind of giving that structure so that they can keep track of everything a little bit easier. And then 20% of your grade will be that check for understanding. So it'll be classwork from the mini lessons, work on IEP goals and transition goals and things of that nature. And then just final thing, make sure that you are prepared for class, whether virtually or in person. So make sure that device is charged up and ready to go, and that you're ready to go. You have the materials that you need, pencil or pen, note-taking materials, and that you're just appropriately dressed for the occasion and ready to go. So last thing, if you do have any questions, please feel free to email me like I mentioned. And we'll also be conducting an annual IEP for each student this year. So I will be contacting you about that as the time grows near. And those are my available times there. So I'll definitely work with you to get a time that will work best for us all so that the team and you guys can communicate about, how everyone is doing. So hopefully this gives you a little bit more insight. Be also on the lookout for weekly progress reports from me from Study Strategies, just to kind of see where you're at. And also any other communications. I'm thinking of using a Remind app this year, kind of enabling some easier communication via that Remind app, kind of more like texting instead. So we'll be looking forward to doing that as well. Thanks.